All that good content, bro.
3, 2,
I know.
1. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another podcast of Apartment 814. Thank you for visiting. Take your shoes off, take a load off, sit on the couch with us as we keep our distance just as well because it's still COVID season. And while the rest of the gang talk to you guys about current events and all types of things, I'm going to beat the shit out of my computer to make sure that it works. All right.
Wonderful.
How you guys doing while I use a hammer to break my computer?
I'm fan-fucking-tastic, Syncweaver.
Great! I'm glad everything is going okay for you guys.
You know, it really just sounds like you hear the like Hobbit Extreme specifically, to flick it. That's what I keep hearing.
Like I have 10 times more energy now because I fed off of the Discord. I live for it. I need it.
And I don't think he meant the voice chatting.
Not the app. not the program.
The chaos that is
the literal chaos that exudes from people.
Yeah.
And
mention that Skeptic is a whole succubus. Well, not even
a succubus. He's a succubus. Holy crap! When were you a female? You mean
I'm an energy vampire.
I mean,
yeah.
Whatever
you want to use to
it's called incubus.
Oh, you know what? You're right.
Very nice, sir.
I'm not
nice.
gonna blame you.
Good catch.
Anyway, this is. I know we're a little late. That's totally my fault. I do apologize.
No, it's definitely ours. We were totally just hashing it up. Like we had a whole.
Let me take responsibility, or I'm going to get canceled, man. Let me do this.
No, you're right.
I don't want to get canceled, man.
Don't make me bring up the Brony Chronicles.
Oh God, no! Don't do it.
Okay, but anyway, yeah, no, we had a debate that we didn't feel as though it was podcast appropriate, and so we had to get that out of the way real quick, So we'll post that video on YouTube, right? And you guys will get to see that inappropriate content posted on a different service.
I think it's appropriate for YouTube.
No, it's not. It's just
You're scaring me, man. These ideas.
But anyway, I think I'm going to lead things off here.
Oh,
I know.
Oh,
because
wait, what's your subject? What you about to do?
Well, I wasn't going to lead right into my subject. I was going to
okay. Foreplay. Okay.
I was going to ask Syncweaver exactly who did Tara Strong voice in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic.
I don't know.
You sure?
I don't know. I know we joked about the whole Brony Chronicles. I never really paid attention to My Little Pony.
I just remember you said you liked the voice acting a lot. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to look that up.
Did I ever say that?
Strong.
You might have.
The white and purple.
Which one?
I don't remember her name. The white and purple one.
Wait.
My Little Pony. Twinkle. No, Twilight Sparkle.
Twilight Sparkle is the purple one. The Rarity is the white and purple one, right?
Sorry. Yeah, I guess it's the purple one with sparkled hair.
Yeah, that's Rarity.
I just looked it up though. I didn't ask for that.
Was that? I don't know these actors in that. All I know is that
I just know the Tara Strong, like whole entire profile of voice acting or portfolio. I can't think of the right words today. Includes that, and I just wanted to remember that one because that was missing from my catalog. Actually, I was like, yeah, I know she voices Riku from Final Fantasy X and 10. I know that she's Timmy Turner. I know that she's Raven. I know that she's Bubbles. But like, I didn't watch the My Little Pony series. Who was she in that? That was a genuine question.
Listen.
It just happened to like hit me when I was like, I was like, oh wait, does he know?
I don't know. A lot of My Little Pony, unfortunately. Like, I mean, I know the names of some of them because excuses, but like, honestly, if you guys even were willing to believe this, it's just that any of my sisters actually finished it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have
Mm-hmm.
4 sisters, just to remind you.
Mm-hmm.
And counting.
So
I
my
get more
topic today is
sisters?
actually
Goddamn.
Resident Evil 4. And we have a reveal that we didn't see coming. So we did see that somebody leaked a bunch of upcoming titles for Capcom. And one of those reveals was a Resident Evil 4 remake. So while there's been no, I think maybe there's been official news, but I can't. There's no been like any official like reveal on what it's going to look like, any character models or anything like that. But one thing I don't think was revealed in the leak or was caught onto was that they were going to drop this Resident Evil 4 VR port. And so why would I bring this up? Well, how many of us has actually played through a VR game before?
I haven't. Say that. Anybody else? Anybody play a VR game? Or have the money to spend $600 on a VR headset and everything else with it?
I was just gonna be quiet, but I was like, no, that was funny. No. No. No.
I would say
not yet.
if price wasn't a
If the price was not right,
probably wouldn't have one. So I'm going to ask this question: if it wasn't really expensive, would you have a VR headset?
probably.
And what game would you have played?
Beat Saber.
Beat Saber was like really fun. I'll give you that one. I actually got really into Duck Season. So if anybody doesn't know what that is, it was a VR horror game that was presented as like a realistic duck hunt shooting game based off of the original Duck Hunt on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, the thing is, you could go through that game and not experience any of the actual horror elements, but I won't spoil it for you. The idea is that you have to trigger it, which is fairly easy to do if you really don't think too hard about it, and that's what makes the game really good, is because it's packaged in a way where you can completely miss it, or you can fall right into the trap. So that was really cool. And I think that what really made it interesting was that VR and horror, it seems almost too easy, right? Like you can use surround sound and you can put the jump scare right in somebody's face and they can fall over. But what makes that one really cool is the idea of this dual, I want to say, perspective where you're inside of the game and then you're outside of the game. And that was clever use of the idea that you're in a first person thing. You know what I mean? So with that said, I think that I've never really been interested in a VR game outside of like really Beat Saber, but even that one, I don't have the space to even play that game. I don't even want to know what I would be doing with my life playing Beat Saber in the first place. I'm just like, I don't know. I just never had the like desire to actually wield lightsabers. I wasn't a huge Star Wars fan growing up, but Resident Evil 4 is a game that I played very much. It's very near and dear to my heart. And the way that it looks like it's going to translate to VR, and what a lot of people are saying is that it looks like it's going to be a seamless transition. It's going to make a lot of sense. The game is absolutely dated. It's aged. Like the controls are actually so dated that they fit right into the VR world. And it's a really interesting way that the game can be revitalized because the tank controls and the like sheer poor movement kind of like gets enhanced by the VR gameplay in spite of the fact that there's still going to be some things that you have to do that are going to be a little bit more cumbersome and like more difficult, challenging fights. Like the way that they reload in that game. I do like the innovation of like the storage case, the thing that you have when you hit pause being kind of on one of the arms, you can just kind of look at it and choose stuff, little tweaks like that. But most of the assets pretty much being true to the original. And I'm just like, oh, cool. This looks a lot of fun. Right. A lot of fun. And it's a big, good, like game of the year worthy game. So VR might actually be getting its first true banger, I think. Like I know there's probably been some really awesome games Like I know that people have said some games in VR are really good, but like it's exclusive to VR. You know what I mean? And I really want to know, like, have you guys seen any other VR game that really just lends to the? Maybe I just haven't been paying attention, but lends to the medium so well that it would almost make you want to get the medium. Aside from Beat Saber,
I'm about to say.
Beat Saber is
Probably
like really the like shining example. And
probably
who hasn't heard of it?
Half-Life Alex probably.
All right, I heard that was one of the ones that was really good, like, especially as a VR game. Was it exclusive to VR?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I remember hearing that it was incredible.
That's probably the only game that's really good, looks good, that isn't going to make me shit my pants. So
Yeah, it is probably like the best one in terms of like quality and like gameplay, like content. Oh no, that one and another popular one that's kind of old now, but it was popular when it came out. The Walking Dead one, like there's a Walking Dead VR one that people liked. A lot of people liked it. It's about like 2 years old, I think.
You have to help me out.
I don't know. Like I've only seen like maybe the smallest amount of stuff in terms of what's going on in VR. So,
but we're getting there. Like it's like like what Sink said about Half-Life. Like it's hopefully that will set the standard going forward because the Resident Evil one seems of that same quality, if not potentially higher. It just depends on how they like. VR is more gameplay focused and like graphically inclined for now anyway. Like I haven't seen PS5's VR. I don't know if it's like leagues better. It might be for all I know, but
okay.
VR makes big strides every year and a half to 2 years. It's a good jump for them. So
Yeah. But you know what? If I ever, because right now the PlayStation 5 is out of my money, because it's hard to get that game no matter how I try. But if I get the chance, I'd definitely invest in VR because I think VR is going to be eventually improved thanks to technology, and we're probably going to end up in like some Nerve Gear Sword Arts Online future one day. And
No.
but you would hope not.
I don't think it is near. That's probably far off into the future, but I believe it's possible.
Yeah, well, according to Stephen Hawking, new objective: survive.
Bless that
If we
man's
even
soul.
make it to that,
Bless that man's soul.
with the apparent reality that we've already done irreversible damage to like the world's wildlife,
Yeah,
like forests. It's
and
like,
did
doesn't
good.
matter how many trees we plant, and just like, really?
That man
This-
did good before he left.
Yep. But you know what? He like shortened our planet's life expectancy down to like, what was it, 100 years or something crazy? I'm just like, bro, come on now.
He only did the calculations. Like you can't really blame him for that. It's like y'all better get on your game and fix this planet.
Well,
Listen, I have mad respect for Stephen Hawking and what he's done.
Look, we're not making the subject about Stephen Hawking.
Why not?
Hey, listen, man.
He's a brilliant man. I'm just saying.
Rest in peace. But like more back onto the topic of VR. So I don't really feel like for the like non-content creators, because I'm sure a lot of people money to burn are like, oh, let's try it. Oh, that was cool. Like I feel like VR still has a long way to go to be a compelling enough medium to have a solid library of titles worth experiencing. You know what I mean?
Well, when you say long, like how long? Like how are we talking?
I don't know, dude. Like, where is the development for the medium? I don't think a lot of people are going out of their way to develop for it. And I don't think it's technology constraints. I think that you can get pretty creative with how you use it. we've already seen that games can absolutely work, especially older games. Like I think that Resident Evil 4 is an example that means you don't necessarily need a new game to make VR worth playing. You know what I mean? You just have to put in the work to port it. It looks like all the assets were redone, which don't even include the whole entire redoing of assets, for the remake that they're probably putting a lot of work and time and effort into. They kind of redone. We have what is effectively a remaster or a remake masquerading as a remaster. Remember we talked about that before?
Yes.
Right.
It looks just like Resident Evil 4 used to look. With probably is about as updated as it can look. It looks like a remaster, but you are Leon Scott Kennedy. Like you're in a first person view now. Like all of the map has to be redone for you to be able to do that VR. All of it. So it's like you have to imagine how much work went into recreating the world, almost like a diorama. You know, they didn't just port it, but they sure as heck did make it look true to the original. All the way down to the way that the controls work, where there's a little bit more mobility than there was before, which is more than enough. I got through the game just fine, although when I returned to it much later after playing, say, I don't know, Uncharted, I literally was like, this is unplayable. And that wasn't fair, but like that's how I felt. I couldn't play it. And that was somebody who did everything twice at least in that game. And then got the Wii version and picked up on whatever I missed because I only had the GameCube version, and then the PlayStation version came out and it was all better and shiny, superior. I was just like, I don't want to buy this game again and beat it all over again and then do it all over again and again. Like I don't want to. But then I did it anyway on the Wii because I was just like, motion controls. So like imagine VR takes that to the next level, and then you have another, again, solid experience on VR via the probably best Resident Evil. Let's just be honest. Aside from 7 and Resident Evil 2 remake.
But we talking about 6 is obviously the best Resident Evil. Like that shit was so bad. It was fucking fantastic, bro. Had me ready to go on every edge of every corner.
I just want to let you know, for your discretion, I know where you live. I can come down and slap the shit out of you right now. I'm serious. I can just come down here. And
no, you didn't. You didn't live the experience that was Resident Evil.
Actually, no, I have with Figgy, with Fig Newton. We actually played the game together.
All the way through.
Yep, and we both had the same opinion. It's utter garbage. So,
like y'all probably lacked the inability to like convert that garbage into recyclable metal, which is what me and Anima did.
Listen,
if only we got the content to prove it.
The only good part that we had, like legit, where we were just like, all right, this is definitely Resident Evil, and where I'm like, yep, it's definitely Resident Evil. I'm literally scared to shit right now, which was like Leon's parts, because he
did some things right, man.
Like,
but he got a lot of things right.
You didn't like when a dude what was a biological transformer? You ain't like that?
Listen, dude, Brody, no.
Like, my man had bone marrow for days, bro.
I know Kimimaru for Resident Evil.
Kimimaru would be proud.
Okay. And I was like, oh, okay. But without getting into the madness of Resident Evil 6, I just wanted to acknowledge our previous guest on the podcast in chat, coming back with even more flavor. He kind of
a vengeance. For the years. What's up?
It's a risky investment for corporations. There aren't many consumers out there with VR rigs, which then leads to short quality games, which is like back to being not worth our investment for corps. So it's kind of, right? How do you break it? Well, for one, you probably should pay for VR, but no sense of technology.
Am I hearing auto-tune by myself here?
Yeah, no, you're not. I heard Daft Punk was getting back together, but I didn't know it was going to be this quick.
Looks like the reunion was a lot faster. The date was a little off.
Surfroth is waiting as well.
Am I back?
We're back, and unfortunately, we're going to have to move on to the next subject.
Ooh.
Which, who wants to take the reins?
Me.
Go
Hold
for
on.
it. Just
Wait.
go for it.
Before you do, to give you an idea of how many games are out for VR,
Too many.
it's at least 60. I'm counting 66 right now, and I don't.
Damn.
It's not like it's a lack of things out there. Granted, the consoles kind of have that beat significantly, but still, a new product in the 60s, having a catalog in the 60s isn't bad.
I feel like VR has been out way longer though than it would take to get a 60 game library. Like VR is nowhere near new.
It's been out for a while. If you think about it, I think it's been out for maybe 6 years, even
That's
longer,
a whole console lifespan.
or maybe even longer. I'm not sure, but
Like the longest
you-
lifespans that we've seen in the generations were the PS4
well, if
and
you
the
think about it,
Xbox One.
if it's only in the 60s, and say if it was 6 years, then we're talking about like 10, 11, or 10 or 11 games per year for just the VR alone, which is, in my case, just like people not really trusting that it will pop off. And I have to admit, yeah, that's kind of the thing. VR didn't pop off as well as it should have, because of lack of games and the lack of people having the whole entire setup with it. It's like you see a bunch of YouTubers and content creators and streamers with it, but
the question then becomes, was it a lack of compelling content? Like, or was it the issue of the hardware in the first place? Like, was it just too expensive to make, therefore too expensive to buy? You know what I mean?
I think it might be a combination of both, because it's not a lot of... There are VR streamers out there, and there are people who still use still use VR, but when it comes down to the hardware, I don't think a lot of people have it. It all comes down to financial motivation. Yes.
Yeah, because they were definitely motivated to get that PS5 if they could.
I'm going to move on.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I got a solid answer for what I was asking.
But Sync, have you looked at my subject? It'll make you happy.
Okay, you're asking me if I looked at your subject.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So about them scalpers, everybody. Let's see. So there's scalpers for all types of media and merchandise, even the Pokemon trading card game, which is still booming. That has never died.
Yeah. I know why.
Like,
I know why.
but the article quick summarization: the ongoing chaos surrounding the buying and reselling of Pokemon cards, though, has pushed Target, which is one of its main sellers, retail stores, to direct its employees to consider calling the cops on customers who do not comply with the store's policies. Yes, like actual law enforcement. Like, imagine you're at Target and you buy like 30 Pokemon TCG card packs, and money's not an issue. You have the money to pay for it, but they're just like, no, sir, you can't. That's too many. You're only allowing 1 or 2 packs per person. You don't want to hear shit, and you leave the money and bounce. And then the cops come and tackle your ass and say, "Drop the cards, sir."
FBI, open up! Drop the $20,000 card.
Imagine getting tackled by the police over Pokemon cards.
Well, in this particular case, over buying too many of them,
That you paid.
that's worse.
Look at your.
Dude, does Target? No, Target still exists in the United States. It's not in Canada.
They still exist in the United States. They're not as prominent, but they are definitely still around.
And but imagine just opening up a pack, get that one rare card that's $10,000, but then police said no. You can't
But then the police confiscate it because it's now evidence. You can't have it. No.
So I think that's BS, especially since Target is still getting money. I understand they're technically losing money, so to speak.
I'm about to say.
but you don't know that the person buying that many cards is really a scalper. It could be a YouTuber planning on doing a pack opening ceremony as a video, which actually happens still. Because I caught one maybe 3 weeks ago that just happened to be on my feed. Someone opening Pokemon cards. Like you can't always be sure of what someone's about to do with that, and it would really screw some content creators over. Because that is how even there's some even Yu-Gi-Oh people.
I don't think so. Like, just leave. Just buy some every day. Like, just it's really not that difficult. Like,
So wait,
if you are a normal consumer.
Wait, hold on. So you tell me Target's going to stop you from buying 30 packs in one day as opposed to 30 over a week? 30 over a week?
Yes.
How is that any different?
It's very different. It's giving other people time to show up and also be able to buy the shit. You're going to tell me that wouldn't have worked for the PS5?
Yes, but still, Sony would still be losing money because the scalpers would
nowhere near the amount that they are right now. Like giving the rest of the world 24-hour windows is plenty of time, in my opinion.
I don't necessarily disagree with you. I will say the PS5 is a little bit of a different breed.
Okay. All right. Well, back to the specifics of the TCG.
The Pokemon cards, like if I'll ask you this: do you think that the Pokemon cards are going to fly off the shelf as fast as the PS5?
No, not at all.
Hear me out. I just read the article in the time you guys were talking, and we should probably look at what's going on. I'm always in that voice of reason that literally just mirrors what the article says, and it says as follows.
Wait, Anima. So I'm not arguing the whole scalper point. I'm arguing screwing over people who aren't doing it.
Right. Like Panic is wondering if this is going to be if this is going to screw over more than just the scalpers.
Well, I'm gonna read it. I think the answer is here. And honestly, I feel like the article's short enough to read the whole thing, but it's like, okay. Well, here's the problem, and then here's the reason. In 2 short paragraphs, honestly. Actually, I'll make it 3. I'll make it quick. Being one of the United States' largest retailers of Pokemon, Target has been inundated with demand for the cards by flippers, hardcore fans, and parents. Already, Target has instituted special policies for Pokemon cards and mandate all stores only restock cards at 8 a.m. on Fridays, and that each customer can only buy one item.
Which now, I think that's extreme. Like, I think you should be able to buy more than one. Like, what you look like just buying one pack.
Well, hold on. Those Pokemon TCG apologies, I can't even read. Policies have not been enough, apparently, as customers still regularly form long lines outside of Target stores before they open. To combat this, Vice has reported that some Target stores have begun posting policies that direct its employees to warn customers lined up outside to leave, and if they do not, employees should determine next steps, and if law enforcement engagement is required. Pokemon Company previously stated it would continue to try maximizing the printing, blah, 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 Shining Fates, bunch of Shinies, Gigantamax Charizard, yada, yada, yada. Current commercial success and stock shortages of Pokemon TCG is an amalgamation. Can't even say a word. Amalgamation. Of multiple factors. The Pokemon franchise as a whole is currently experiencing its 25th anniversary, prompting old and new fans who have largely been at home looking for new hobbies the past year to collect. Celebrity influence is also playing a role, as people like YouTuber Logan Paul have been showing off the TCG to their audiences of millions, bringing more people into the fold. Pokemon cards are not the only product whose supply to consumers is being strangled by resellers. A significant portion of the PS5 stock has been sold to resellers who charge premiums of hundreds of dollars on sites like eBay. Other tech too, like NVD or VIDIA. I don't even feel like trying to say that word right now. New 3000 series graphic cards are experiencing unheard of
NVIDIA.
scarcity. Yeah, NVIDIA. But I didn't want to blah because my tongue is tied. So yes, is the answer. The reason is because these typically are more accessible because they've been there the whole time. Every time you walk into a Walmart or a Target, they've always still had the Pokemon cards there. It's just that this out of nowhere, like boom of demand has created the Apple effect, except it's becoming a everyday thing for stores like Target. It's not just the release of the PS5 or the release of the Apple phone. It's the consistent distribution of each new shipment to each store that is creating a continuous issue. Are they flying off the shelves to the extent where people in line are being told to leave or will call the cops?
Damn. As far as I can tell you, though, this is expensive ass children's card game.
Hey, listen, man.
Pokemon cards selling off in the internet for thousands of dollars, and
That's nothing new.
my question is like, are we using it for the actual card game, or are we just collecting it? And either or, it doesn't matter because you can do whatever you want. If you want to spend thousands of dollars on a piece of cardboard, then sure, be my guest.
Well, perhaps I should have read the paragraph I yada yada. The Pokemon Company previously stated it will continue and try to maximize the printing of current sets that are driving demand, namely Shining Fates, which features dozens of shiny Pokemon.
Right.
Remind you of a topic we talked about earlier. The most notable card from Shining Fates is a full art shiny Gigantamax Charizard, which has an estimated pull rate of less than 1% and is currently selling for hundreds of dollars on eBay, but in weeks and months past, the card sold in the thousands. So clearly the Pokemon Company is slowly meeting demand.
Gotcha system. One of the first gotcha system.
Yeah, I mean, that's been since before even Pokemon cards existed.
Yeah, it's, talk about like baseball cards or little gotcha machines back in the day in like Japan, even further back in like ancient China, where it was like, choose your prize box, see what you get inside. This has been going on for centuries.
Yeah, I was talking collectibles as a whole, not just Pokemon.
Yeah. I think that I literally am one paragraph away from the whole article here, just the intro, talking about the resurgence of the popularity of Pokemon cards and the ongoing chaos. He already said that. It's just weird, though. It's like you it's not unheard of, and it's not unusual, and it's not even something that surprises me. It's just the fact that we have this situation very similar to another situation, right? And it's different in one key factor, but I'm going to explain it. When the stocks of GameStop, another topic we talked about, who didn't talk about that, created, or not even just GameStop, but just a multitude of stocks being shorted, led to like this panic situation of Robinhood trying to constrict the buying and selling, right? We all agreed that was completely unfair. One could even say unconstitutional, because it wasn't so much that the reason for it was because there was going to be literal chaos. It was that a lot of people were losing a lot of money really fast, and it seemed like a way to protect those people. But those people placed those bets in a fair market, which means they were liable to loss the whole time, and they have to eat that risk because they knew the risk and considered their options and put forth the money, right? Now, in this case, we have constriction of the purchase of a card, but this isn't an online purchase. This is a on-site purchase. So between social distancing and just the literal like problem of there being so many people coming in and clogging up the store to get these Pokemon cards, or people who are first getting all of the cards and then the rest of the line literally probably going into mob form and hunting the person down, who the hell knows what's going to actually happen? And yeah, it would probably make a lot of sense for police to get involved if somebody is just like, yeah, I'm here, I'm not moving, and I'm going to get all these Pokemon cards. And y'all ain't going to get none. Like, think about that. Like, they're trying to curb the, like, chaos that could happen if somebody just came in, swiped them, and bounced. That'd be like if a food truck was out serving food, and one guy was just like, yeah, I'm going to buy everything you guys have, and then I'm going to sell it for twice as much, right in front of the line. It's like, I'm going to buy it, and then I'm going to sell it. Well, what do? Well, you can't resell our food, sir. Who says I can't? Like, I'm going to grab it, and then if anybody here wants it, I'm going to sell it. Now, the people in line could either be like, all right, sure, fine. What's your price? And if it's double, we're going to jump you. Like, I'm just saying, like, think of the scenario. I'm trying to paint a picture like I did earlier, except this one's a lot more absurd because no one would actually do that, but they would, because that's what's probably happening. People who are getting in there buying like packs and packs and packs until the store's like, well, that's all we got. And then everybody else like, what the hell? What do you think is going to happen? You know? Like, we're talking about kids, parents, and old hardcore fans, which are probably also parents. So, you see some snot-nosed brat come through, or even worse, some like old collector, like some guy with actual money, not just their parents' money, going up into there and just saying, yeah, these are mine now. Like, I don't think the kids are gonna chase him down and jump him, but like, I still see the scenario playing out poorly to the extent where Target does need to get law enforcement involved. Like, that's just
people go kind of crazy. So
yeah, I mean, funny enough, when I was in Camden, I was living with my roommate there. There were shoes that were coming out. It was at a store, and we were in the line all morning. we literally woke up the crack of dawn. And was like, I need you to do me a favor. We sat out front just to get like apparently 4 pairs of these shoes, and you can only get one a person. So I was with like other people, and we were all using his money to buy those shoes, of which he put back onto the internet to resell these shoes that he can get more profit from. So I've experienced this kind of thing where people were trying to take advantage of, like, you can only get 1 pair each person, and they had like a camera and like a photo of everything of everybody who came into the store, so there was no repeats whatsoever. So
yeah,
it's kind of looking like that.
We just experienced that with the pandemic. Did you go into a grocery store and see that the store said you can only take 1 jar of pasta?
Yeah.
Sauce?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Yeah, you did. I was appalled, but then I got it because I'm just like, oh yeah, because everybody's gonna just buy up all the spaghetti.
Yep, just like the toilet paper.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see any signs on the toilet paper, probably because it wasn't there.
Right.
It happened too fast for them to react. But then when this pasta started getting targeted, then it's like, okay, look, take 1. We're only gonna sell you 1.
Right.
You know, like, chill the F out. Like, you aren't gonna eat all this pasta. You're not gonna be hibernating in some freaking, what is it called? I can't think of words anymore. Like, bomb shelter. Making spaghetti for the next 6 months. Like, chill out.
So, my dear skeptic, want to end this with some words? How you feel about all this? It's your subject, after all.
No, hold on. I'm just let me finish eating the
discord and the chaos,
bro. More like, no, man. It gives me life, bro. I'm sorry. Like, I need the difference of opinion. It makes the world go around. But to wrap it up, who believes Target is right and who believes Target is wrong, even if only slightly?
That's a question. You didn't even end it. You made it longer.
No. I'm asking for one. I'm asking for 1 word / 1 sentence answers. It will help me.
Target is doing pretty much what anybody else would do in this situation.
Yeah, I think they're on the right. This
Panic.
What do you think I'm going to say?
Fuck you, I have chicken? I don't know.
I think Marcus is waiting for me to say a specific thing.
No, not necessarily. No, I think that you're going to agree with Target, but not with their approach. Generally.
Okay, you're not necessarily wrong. I agree with them. Based on the situation, they don't really have much of another way to approach the situation. When it comes to people standing in line, you kind of just have to say, yeah, no, everybody out there has to get a chance.
So, all right. Well, for the first time in the podcast, we have a different kind of like very speedy segment here that I am surprising everybody here right now, called the Games of the Months that has recently came out and that are very interesting that is coming out this month.
That was a very confusing and long title.
Wait, what was is this a
surprise?
Is it a topic or promotion?
It's not promotion, but
this is a subject, a topic.
It's not a topic. It's just a really speedy, like
advertisement. Okay.
Not even advertisement. Just me talking and just saying what games are coming out. Okay, just like just an interesting little thing, little segment, just a little tiny segment.
Just
anyway,
do it.
So speedrun. What came out just recently? Pokemon Snap just came out recently on the Nintendo Switch. People saying it's pretty good. Returnals came out on the PlayStation 5. People saying it's pretty good. A lot of people saying they wish they could play it.
Bootleg Metroid.
Nier Replicant version 1.22474487139 came out.
That's bless you.
For PlayStation, Xbox, and the PC. Has been getting really good ratings for that. It's a really good game, apparently. Genshin Impact, which has been announced for the PlayStation 5. Apparently it has been, I think it's been pushed back. But Genshin Impact is coming out on the PlayStation 5 if you have PlayStation 5. The show for you sports fans out there for MLB has come out for PlayStation 5 and the Xbox, and it'll be announced for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One later down the line. For RPG fans, we have the Saga Frontier Remastered, if anybody has played that.
Ooh, really?
And also the Trails of Cold Steel 4 has come out, and this is its fourth game. I have never played Trails of Cold Steel, but it does seem very interesting. Pac-Man 99 came out earlier this month. I think you guys know what Pac-Man is, and you know how that is. It's
very talked about it.
Yeah, it's exclusive for the Switch, so that's all that is. Oddworld Soulstorm, which is a remake of Oddworld Exodus. People, I just have to correct that. It's not a totally new game. It's a remake of a game that came out like 20 years ago.
You're talking about Oddworld Stranger, right?
No. So Oddworld Soulstorm came out, and it's been getting like, you know, okay reviews, but it's like an old game that's remade into a game of an older platform style. I think it's pretty good, but for those of you who are in platforming and puzzles, I would suggest checking that out. Outriders, which is basically kind of like if you took Gears of War and Destiny and you put it together. Also came out for the PlayStation and the Xbox and the PC. So if anybody who wants to play a looter shooter, I would wait to get Outriders because it has a lot of bugs. The next game that I'm sorry to say, Balan Wonderworld, which is supposedly a throwback to Nights into Dreams or Nights.
No, just skip this one.
It didn't come out with the best reviews, but it did come out, so it's up to you guys for check it out. It's mostly a 3D platformer and a collectathon, but has been getting very bad reviews online, unfortunately, and it's sad to see. Especially from the people who created it. And last but not least, Monster Hunter Rise has been on the Nintendo Switch. I've started playing it. It's really fun. For those of you who are not really into Monster Hunter, it is really fun. And I hopefully a lot more people get into it. But I lied. There is one more thing. Resident Evil Village is coming out on May 7th. And... well, I'm sorry.
Is it?
Yeah, it's coming out like within the weeks. So get ready for Resident Evil Village, Resident Evil 8.
I didn't prepare. I need that. Is that going to be on the PS4?
It is going to be on the PlayStation, all the PlayStations, all the Xbox, PC, and generally like all the systems.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
going to
think it's
need
going to be
that.
on the Switch yet. So that's it. That has been the quick shotgun segment of all the games that have come out and that will be coming out that are interesting. Thank you very much. Now let's move on to the next subject.
I'll go because you mentioned something that's in my topic within those new games. Once,
Okay, go for it.
all right. So first off, I found out that Nier Replicant is a remake of the prequel to Nier Automata. Nier Replicant came out how many years ago?
Nier was just called was like it's the same game. It is kind of like a remaster, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the difference is that Japan had the brother sister thing where it's like a Nier replicant, which we're getting now, and the Nier that we got in the past years ago was changed up a bit where it was a father daughter kind of thing. It was an odd thing to beholden, but yeah, I guess they changed it up because they think Americans are that sensitive. You are now, but just saying, like they didn't really need to change.
Anyway, continue.
There's something I found out that I'm really, really interested in because I love the games. Drakengard and Nier are connected.
Yes.
Did not know. I'm glad you knew this, Sync. That would have been nice to know since I think you and Skeptic know that I love the Drakengard games.
Yes.
I think both of that. So it would have been nice to know this. Skeptic, did you know this? Is he there? He might not.
He might not be.
Mm.
This man steps out the most times.
For him too, so this slightly sucks. But
No, thinking Mike was like, no.
oh, did you know that Jack and Nier are connected, like in the same world, connected?
It's
Wait,
a
who's connected?
bit okay. So
Because you're like kind of fate.
I'll give you a second, Sync. I say in the same world. That's slightly debatable. Did you know that Nier and Drakengard are connected? Like they're pretty much directly connected.
yeah, they are.
Yes.
So you knew this?
I did. Sync happened to tell me that before.
I'll murder both of y'all. Anyway, Skeptic. I didn't get to play Drakengard, the first Drakengard. The first Drakengard was out of my reach. By the time I played Drakengard 2, I was in sophomore year, I think. No, I was a freshman going to sophomore by the time I got to play Drakengard 2. Fell in love with the game. I have no clue why, but I immediately fell in love with the game, and I finally got it back in 2014. That how many years? 6 years later. 6? 7. I think it was 7 years later. And then I got Drakengard 3, which I was basically on the verge of beating, but I lost on the last beat of the last boss, which killed me.
And it's the suckiest one.
Yes, because you don't come in because the screen's completely black, and it pissed me off, and I was like, all right, fuck this game. I just turned it off. But I knew I beat it. I just didn't see the end of the story. But I had recently saw a video that shows how one pretty much leads to, well, has a semi connection to Nier, and how 3 has a more direct connection to Nier, even though 3 is a prequel to 1. But you didn't watch me play 3, Skeptic, did you? I just kept telling you about it. Skeptic.
There's Mike is doing a thing again, or
So I I was playing through 3, and then 3 has a whole bunch of different timelines and stuff. But when you get to the third ending of 3, you realize that there is a third party involved in terms of keeping the time straight. And the third party, her name is Accord. She works for someone. But I found out that she is an android. I didn't know this when I was playing through 3. I didn't know she was an android. I don't know why I didn't catch that. Maybe I did, or maybe I forgot. And she is mentioned in Nier Automata. Granted, it's in passing, but she is mentioned in Nier Automata. And the true canon ending for 1 is when they defeat the whole. Sync, help me out. What are they called?
The Watchers.
The Watchers. When you defeat the we'll say Queen Watcher, I think that was what she was.
Yeah.
They get teleported to modern day Tokyo, which is what? Because again, 1, I didn't get a chance to play 1. I never got my hands on it, but they get transported to modern day Tokyo. I'm like, huh? What? How? So, and the Angelus's body gets disintegrated, as well as the Queen Watcher's body gets disintegrated, and the remains of Angelus's body gets experimented on, and what the Queen dispersed onto that world was some type of virus. Am I right on this, Sync?
So basically, during the last fight in his world, they fell into modern day Tokyo, where he defeated the main hero from Nier. He defeated with Angelo, the Queen of the Watchers, or whatever she is, whatever, and she disintegrates into like some sort of sulfur substance, which does infect the world, but Japan becomes like ground zero, and Angelo and
That
the main
sounds horrible.
Oh, hi. Angelo and the main character gets blasted out of the sky by the military,
Right.
and the main character like immediately explodes, but Angelo dies as well, but his body gets taken and experimented on. So that's how magic comes into their world, because they experimented on Angelo's body. The sulfur substance also does a thing where, because of whatever the Watcher was made from, brought even like more devastating magic to modern day Japan and the rest of the world, and it brings about like other events that come through to Nier Automata, but also just what was it, Nier Replicant, because the beginning of Nier Replicant is basically
The
the like years in the future, obviously, like hundreds of years in the future, but like it's devastating. Like the world is actually, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. It's a couple years after that incident where the big Watcher woman gets destroyed, and you look at a brother and sister who are just trying to survive, and the sister like dies in his arm, and the brother's like, someone please help, and then it goes like 1500 years into the future, where basically society starts over and the world has changed forever, and that's the true start of Nier Replicant, or Nier, the first game, or something like that. It's weird with the titles there. And even farther down the line after Nier Replicant is Nier Automata. It's so confusing, but it's like a God. I hate the creator so much, and I hate you too, Panic, because you're the one who let me borrow Drakengard 3.
So surprise, Panic. Crossover. Everyone is here type crossover. Is it considered a crossover if it's in the same universe?
No, it's considered. It's not a crossover. It's considered just in-game cameo, like in-universe cameo.
So does that mean that Dante being inside of Beautiful Joe technically wasn't a crossover? because they exist in the same world.
Hold on, wait. When did that happen?
Oh, years ago. Where have you been?
You could play Dante in Beautiful Joe.
Yes,
Did not. That is interesting.
after you beat Alistair.
Yes.
And that's why they have special dialogue in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. They know each other.
Right? Like they know each other.
I don't know what to call that. I really don't.
It's interesting.
I think Skeptic even talked about how Beautiful Joe and Wonderful 101 are like the same world as well. I'm not too sure of that one either. But
I think that, but
Well,
yeah,
they have to be.
But to stick with the whole script here, Draken when Drakengard was finished in that series, it went over to the Nier, which is modern day Japan. But also in Nier, after the whole virus spreading and years later happened, Drakengard 3 happened. And Drakengard 3 is the girl who has like the flower for the eye.
Yep.
And is like, honestly, I love her as a character because she just does not care about nothing. But when Drakengard 3 ended, she becomes what seems to be similar to the Mother Watcher, and like a giant flower form. And when she's defeated, sulfur once again spreads out throughout the world, and then after that we get Nier Automata.
My brain has melted in the course of this topic. I'm just saying. As somebody who's not familiar with either of those two games, except for knowing of Nier, what are you talking about?
So right. So for the first Drakengard, the way that starts, I'm just going to do a quick summary. There is this warrior. The main character's name is Kaim. Saying just in case you forgot, this warrior, his name is Kaim. They're in a world where they have magic, and they're trying to. They have magic, and they have seals to keep away this higher being that would destroy all of the world, called the Watchers.
Mm-hmm.
And there is this group, you kind of know, like the Yiga clan, that wants to bring back Ganon, that wants to remove these seals to bring the Watchers about. And
Bit of context, guys. Ganon in the Legend of Zelda series is the main villain, who is the calamity in this particular game that brings about the end of all. Just some context to keep people at least understanding, because that was a good reference. But I haven't even played Breath of the Wild yet, so I didn't even know that.
Oh, okay, fair.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Then, okay, so yeah, then what Anima said about the Ganon and the Yiga clan and the calamity? Yes, Ganon wants to end the world as well.
What? Calamity Cannon? What was that?
All right, let him finish.
So the whole point of the first Drakengard is now you're fighting this cult that wants to bring the Watchers back.
Okay.
And you wind up losing. The Watchers wind up coming back, and you fight them with your dragon, who helped you stay alive earlier in the game.
Dragon?
By making a pact. Yes,
So,
I'm about to explain it.
Okay. I thought you said Draken, as in some sort of weird combination between a dragon and a kraken.
No, it's a drake. Wyverns, drakes. Like that's their general species.
he's a dragon.
But
yeah.
Drakengard, I am saying Draken. Drakengard is the name of the game, not dragon.
Okay, so it's a Draken, which is a form of drake.
Could you let him finish the story?
I just want to know what the heck a Draken is.
Drakengard is just the name of the game.
I'm saying dragon for what the creature is, but Drakengard is the name of the game.
Okay.
He on in the game, he made a pact, which is basically a soul connection with the dragon. You can do with multiple different creatures in this world,
mm-hmm.
and you become you get certain abilities as well as being psychically tethered to your pact partner.
Mm.
Fast forward to the end of the game, him and his partner are fighting the big bad Watcher. They wind up winning, but they get teleported to modern day Tokyo. Like, they were not in modern day Tokyo. They were like in medieval times, basically, doing all of this. They get transported to modern day Tokyo. Main character dies. His pack partner dies, and the thing that they were fighting dies. But with all their deaths, wind up becoming a disease in modern day Tokyo that turns into monsters and magic.
Now I see what we're talking about.
That's the basic gist of that. Drakengard 3 was a prequel, supposed to be a prequel to the first Drakengard, in which case a female named Zero, that's not her real name, but we don't know her real name. A female named Zero winds up dying, and then she gets infected, we'll say, with this flower type thing that brings her back to life whenever she dies. The only way for her to completely die, as well as get rid of the flower's influence, because the flower has a similar influence as the Watchers in Drakengard 3, which is bad, is to have a dragon kill her. She winds up working with a dragon named Mikhail throughout the whole game. And the basic gist of that one is that by the end of the game, she's successful in what she's trying to do. But before she does, she and her sisters, who I didn't explain because they're not completely important for me to explain right now, but just know that she has five. She has five sisters that are technically a part of herself. She fuses back with them, and she becomes something similar to the big bad Queen Watcher from the first Drakengard. The dragon kills them, and their body winds up doing something similar to what the Queen Watcher did in the first game, which was make that whole sulfur disease type thing. Right. Now, that was just of Drakengard 3.
Okay, so what does this have to do with 2B's ass?
In the first Drakengard, that wound up making whatever the disease is, Monsters and Magic disease. That's the simplest way I'm going to call that. And at the end of that game is basically the cause of the first Nier, which Nier Replicant is the remaster of the first Nier game. You follow me there?
Yes.
So if you play through Nier Replicant, you'll realize that there are things pointing back to the first Drakengard, which you've never played. But basically, when Angelus, the pack partner dragon from the first game, when that dragon died, her body was stuck on a building. Scientists took that and started doing experiments on it, and that's basically what became magic in Nier when they started doing those experiments. And the sulfur, whatever that was from when the Queen Watcher died, is basically the disease that's going around that's in Nier as well. So Drakengard 1 leads into Nier Replicant, and I did not know that at all. I did not know there was any connection. As well as in Drakengard 3, I'm just going to mention this real quick. There are different timelines that lead to different endings. So there's time shenanigans going on in Drakengard 3. There is a character who gets introduced in one of the timelines who's there to make sure that the game ends the way it's supposed to. Because
like the Whispers from Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yes, that's the best way I can put it. But she is less directly interfering and more so just saying, yeah, you need to continue doing what you're doing to make sure this goes the way it's supposed to go. So she's not necessarily directly interfering, she's just talking. But that character is an android named Accord, who is mentioned in Nier Automata.
Okay. Now that even a normie like me can see the connection, it actually makes me want to play through the games to find out.
Normie, you're officially an expert now.
Apparently,
Penny
you know,
just told you the entire franchise over the course of like 10 minutes.
he effectively gave me a very effective summary. I will have to say that like the difference between you guys hashing it out as like long-term fans and then me who's just like, huh? Like I at least now understand what's happening and why the connection is significant, which I think is what you want to get across for at least the people listening, because it's like, what if no one's played any of those games? You guys were dropping names left and right. I'm like, huh?
So, like, he only gave you, like, the bare bones.
But he gave me enough to be interested.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I feel like he gave a good like 25, maybe 30%, in my opinion.
he gave you enough, because there's a lot more that goes into it. Like,
Oh.
he could have talked about all the endings for each game.
Which
and how only, like, one of those endings is actually canonical.
yeah, and it's not significant, which is why I didn't. I just went with the canon endings, and I didn't even say the canon ending for Drakengard 3, because the canon ending for Drakengard 3 apparently was not in a game. It was in a novella, which follows another character from Drakengard 3. But I'm not going to get into that because you have not.
Please don't get into that.
Yeah, there's
not.
there's novels and books, internet forums, and yet there's no anime. Not yet.
But because of what I found out, now I need to play Nier Automata, because I had no real reason to want to play Nier Automata other than it's by Square. But it's just like, it seems cool, but I have no. But now, yeah, I kind of need to get both of those games now.
Okay, so just to piss you off a little bit more, since you guys are the only ones who are playing Final Fantasy XIV, yourself, Panic, and Skeptic, so Yokotaro, the creator of the Drakengard and Nier series, canonized a part of the story in Final Fantasy XIV.
Sorry, what? How? What?
So in 14, 2P, the white-clothed, dark-skinned android that looks like 2B, came into Final Fantasy XIV's world of the first, that is the Shadowbringers' new world. So they somehow appeared out of nowhere, and you as the main character have to help her find out what's going on and basically secure her place and information that she's trying to look for. Dude, somebody is typing like a madman back there.
Yeah, sorry about that.
2P wanted to find a person, and the person that we did find was 9S in one of his in the jet vehicle. And so we went throughout the copied factory, which was making the machines, the round-headed machines that you fight in Nier Automata, and you had to take on 9S, who was actually controlling all of the machines. And apparently, this copied factory has been here for a while. Somehow, 2P, 9S, and the machines transported into the world of Final Fantasy XIV via a gate, and we suspect that's what 2P is looking for. The next thing we know is that 2P had made copies of herself and betrayed us as the main character and a small little village, and she destroys the village, but we were able to chase her away to the crash site of the lunar colony that went through a gate that fell into our world. So the lunar colony that was in Nier Automata didn't just blow up, it fell into Final Fantasy XIV.
That just sounds like a convenient excuse to feature it in the game.
RPGs, everybody, RPGs.
That doesn't sound like a real connection at all.
So, because I'm trying to, I'll give you a connection here. So, we are following 2P into this broken down, destroyed, fell down lunar base. But we have with us 2B, who rescues us from one of 2P's traps. So, 2B, now helping us get through the lunar colony and guiding us through the crash site, is her mission is to make sure that 9S is safe and taking down 2P. And when we get to the final boss of the lunar colony, she becomes this giant mass of like clones and stuff that kind of emulate a certain scene in Nier Automata where these two twins or these two white hair guys are born from like a same similar situation. But I'm trying not to spoil Nier Automata here. But she
Don't you do it.
makes a bunch of clones of herself.
Don't you do it.
And we just take her down, and we learn that she's actually the product of the machines. She is the last resort of the machines when they were trying to make a humanoid type of machine, and she is that byproduct. Just like how in Nier Automata they tried to do that as well, she is the better version of that. And her mission is to open up a portal and corrupt the world that she's in so that they have enough energy to go to another world to corrupt that just as well and building up the forces. And this is because the red dress girl in Nier Automata didn't actually die. She was still alive and she took over the machine's programmings, their computers, to open up a gate to our world. And she even brings the tower from Nier Automata into 14. So you go through that very same tower while also having 9S help us hack through the tower in the same shooter minigame so that we can go up the tower and take on the corrupted machines, corrupted programs, the girl in the red dress, and her goal was to become some sort of machine god where this part brought a lot of PTSD. She became something similar to that of the Watcher Mother and to that of Zero when she was in her flower form, and she was the last boss, including the rings and everything.
I was about to say that girl in the red dress is that's throwing flashbacks back to Drakenguard.
Yes. So a lot of people in the 14 community was like both impressed and mad at Yoko Taro because he literally just hijacked Final Fantasy XIV.
Wow.
Because that story is actually canon to the Nier Automata story.
So that was our segment of 814 Explains. This episode was based on RPGs. Maybe next episode will be based on what's a good one.
What's even worse is
FPSs.
What's even worse is that the story is still going because we are getting messages on why one of the two Lalafels that were involved in this, like why that girl acted differently when we were around her and how she just appeared in the last dungeon and she helped us a little bit and she knew a little too much about the machines. And we're like, why do you know so much? So in the end, she teleports with 2B and 9S back to their old world. So now we're gonna have potentially a small little Lalafell alien woman in the Nier series.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop you right there. I wish we had our face cams back on. So I literally had to put my head on my mic guard, whatever you call this thing. I forget what it's called. The filter. The mesh filter or whatever. Because you ever see ice cream melt, then get refrozen, and then melt again?
Yes.
That's my brain right now. My brain is twice melted ice cream, and I'm so over it. I went from what to mm-mm.
Well, that's why next time we're going to have you summarize the story of Final Fantasy X and X-2.
That would be so much easier than what the hell just happened. I think it'd be easier to explain this whole entire timeline of Metal Gear, bro.
Listen,
actually, that you might be right about that.
Listen, Yoko Taro doesn't make this shit easy, okay? He's a weird-ass dude with weird-ass stories stuck in his head. And he's only trying his best.
I'm going to give you the story of Final Fantasy X in 10 seconds. You ready? Okay.
Don't you dare laugh.
I'm not going to do the Titus laugh. I'm going to give it an honest try. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
Starting here at the 30-second mark. There is a gigantic calamity that is then defeated at the cost of personal relationships. But for good this time.
Hey,
That's,
that's actually great.
And the second game is literally fan service. That's all you need to know.
One word.
It's a pandemic plotline. What? No.
That 1.5 sentence for 10. Can you say that again, please? That was actually really good.
Yes. The characters defeat a gigantic calamity at the cost of personal relationships. For good this time.
For good
That's
this time.
basically the plot of Final Fantasy X.
I wish Drakengard and Nier had a simple explanation to their plot.
So, someone do that for 7 for me.
Sounds like we tried to keep these people from bringing back this thing, but failed. And after we killed it, it led to more issues. Anyway.
Hey, close enough.
That's what I gleaned from that.
Man. I wish it
Now,
wasn't
Panic.
about
Summarize
tiny, whiny
Halo.
bullshit.
Summarize Halo?
Yes. Now.
Badass.
I'm sorry. Super Mega Ultra Space Marines.
I was about to say superhuman. Badass.
Superhuman. Badass Captain Americans. That
I can explain it.
Stop from raising units and what are they called? A hive mind from destroying the universe.
Ancient
Multiple
race.
times.
Yeah, that's
multiple times.
multiple times.
Ancient
There you go.
ancient alien race. They
Bullied
were
by
so
Superman.
smart. Ancient alien race was so smart that they fucked up because they were too smart and created a virus out of themselves, which almost annihilated the universe. So they had to restart the universe once. And after like so many of them, including humankind, reached space, they had to reach space twice over a course of like another good millions of years. And
Too long.
one alien race was like, ours. This is
it.
our heritage.
Let me help you out. Let me help you out.
You know what? To keep that short. No. Keep that short. I'll try again. To keep that short, ancient alien race, too smart, fucked up, restarted universe. Another alien race said, mine. Humans was like, nah, dog. Fuck you. Halo. Blow shit up. We win.
I don't get it.
And the toned down version of that is multiple alien races get bullied by Captain America in space.
Yeah. You know what? I like that one better. Thumbs up, soldier.
What?
Hold up. Let me try Metal Gear Solid.
That
All right,
explained
you ready?
absolutely
10
nothing,
seconds.
but okay.
We're gonna do Metal Gear in 10 seconds. All right.
Impossible.
That's impossible.
War. Different yet exactly the same.
Snake Eater. In the background.
You just hear that song?
This shit just starts playing.
Oh my god.
Basically.
That song isn't even short. This song is hella long.
Oh my god.
Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I like this segment.
You ready?
Oh, no, that's
Kingdom Hearts.
Absolute no way in hell.
It's like Kingdom Hearts.
You kidding me?
When you walk away, you don't hear me say, please, oh baby, oh no.
Conclusion right here. Though. Kingdom Hearts is so complicated, it would take multiple one-time sentences to describe.
So it basically comes down to this.
What?
All right, you ready?
Darkness.
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 Why not light? Because I like darkness. Okay.
Oh, Oh,
I don't know. I feel like I feel like your daughter did an accurate summarization.
No, hers was bad. Look, Daddy, it's Disney. Hurricane of Heartless.
Hurricane of Heartless. Speaking just plays in the background. Yeah, basically that.
No.
That's all three main games and all six side games rolled in together.
You can summarize the entire Kingdom Hearts series with Sora's one line. Kyrie's inside me?
All right, so we got one more subject because.
From who?
What is the subject?
But Panic, you were trying to say something the whole time, dude.
I was about to say, little boy takes key to Disney Worlds to defeat the same person 6 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look.
If you really want to get into it.
You said 6, man. That's not enough. That's not enough.
No, it's a summary. It has to be at least 10% relevant. And it absolutely is.
That was about 110%.
Takes.
I still like freaking aliens get bullied by Captain America in space.
That was great. I'm not gonna lie. That was a great take. Oh god, what else can we tackle? God of War, bruh.
Hey, hold on, go ahead.
Bruh.
What's your topic?
What?
I have. We're missing one subject, guys. Like,
Oh, you had another topic, bro. I thought
no,
that.
I had no topic. I had a subject.
Oh.
Go.
What was the subject?
Now you're making me forget because we were just So I should have went first because this is not really the best. It's not really the best subject, but the entirety of the internet is now in mourning for the creators of Crash Bandicoot 4. So Toys for Bob, the ones who remade Spyro and made Crash Bandicoot 4, are now one of the many studios that are going to be working on Call of Duty from now on.
I heard about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna summarize that in 10 seconds as well. You ready?
It's all downhill from here.
Yeah, Activision did something right and then completely undid it by being a piece of shit as usual.
I'm just going to say Activision reneged on their card.
Call of Duty Crash Course. Stop.
Wait, are you trying to summarize Crash Bandicoot?
No. Crash Bandicoot can be summarized by dumb Bandicoot.
No, you can. I thought it was whoa, but okay.
Oh yeah.
Whoa!
That summarizes the weird resurgence of Crash via meme, but I don't know. I would. Well, that technically also.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Crash Bandicoot 1. Whoa.
Yeah.
Crash Bandicoot 2. Whoa. Crash Bandicoot 3. Whoa. Crash Bandicoot 4. Whoa.
No, basically, it's like, yeah, it's almost like the Lord of the Rings summary, where it was just like, Mr. Frodo, Sam. And then the sequel was, Mr. Frodo, Sam. Like, it's basically that, except instead of Crash going, whoa, it's Neo.
Oh my god.
But to get back on track, Toys for Bob are now just one of the many creative studios that is going to be just pushed into making more Call of Duty content via Activision. Some of the people
actually sick.
Yeah, some of the people who were doing the art and contracted within Toys for Bob were let go. Not fired, but let go because their contracts went up and Activision didn't feel like doing it. And from what we can tell, they said that there's going to be more Crash Bandicoot 4 goodness, but that only tells me that they're planning something in terms of like maybe microtransactions or something.
DLC and stuff.
DLC, and I'm not looking forward to it.
It's just not good news for this amazing studio that put so much heart into this game.
Right. And there has been I think there's a list of studios that has been put into that detail of just becoming a subsidiary. I think I got the list down here. I lost the list, but it was a bunch of Wait, I think I got it. So it was not just Toys for Bob, but we have like Raven Software, um, Demonware, former Transformers devs, High Moon Studio. That's where they went. High Moon Studio, the ones who made that good ass Transformers game.
Which one?
I think the Fall of Cybertron.
Oh, okay. The
Yeah,
one that was like violent and you were on Cybertron?
it was really good though because they had the original voice actor of Optimus Prime in there. So,
It was.
But,
and the one before that too. Fall of Cybertron and what was I forgot the first one.
The one after that, the cell shading one wasn't horrible in my opinion. I don't know how many people.
It wasn't horrible, but I don't think it was made by High Moon Studio.
No, it wasn't. But like you said, the last good Transformers game, like that cell shading one was garbage.
I wasn't into that so much, but it is good. It's good. It's pretty good.
Okay.
And Beanox, which I don't know if you heard of Beanox Studio, but they're also just on Call of Duty now. So all those studios that were making their own creative games and doing well for themselves with those creative games are just now working on Call of Duty.
Panic.
Yeah.
Summarize Call of Duty in 1 to 2 words.
Nukes, and more nukes.
Too many words.
He did technically say one word.
4.
I said 3. Tingle scrap.
Oh my god.
You done that.
4 is a bitch. There you go.
Yeah, nukes. If you want 3, nukes.
So, and we all know this is just because Activision gets all their money from Call of Duty anyway. So.
But you know something? The thing about this cancerous like consumership of Call of Duty is that it means that these development teams are being sent to like the Call of Duty salt mines as soon as they show promise, almost as if they're being like, what is the word? I can't think of words right now.
Tested?
No, when you're put into the military,
But
Drafted.
But in this case, they did good. They did good. They shouldn't. It almost sounds like they're being punished.
No, they're not being punished by Activision standards. They're like, oh, these guys are good. Get those guys on Call of Duty.
Yeah, and put in the highest authority because Call of Duty is their big money maker.
And apparently, Crash undersold.
Apparently so.
So this is their response to like, well, these guys are good, but we didn't get that much out of Crash. We just put them in Call of Duty. It's just like, I can't. I don't have the words.
I mean, in that case,
literally today.
In that case, then all the you could say that the Crash remake's undersold and the Spyro remake's undersold because Crash 4 came out with like, you know, a good substantial amount of like praise, and even though it came out with praise, yeah, the numbers was probably not to their standard.
But like, you can't expect something that's on the that's on a resurgence to completely knock it out of the park. That's not how franchises start, and that's sure as heck not how franchises restart. You know what I mean? You can't just be like, oh, well, that was cool, but it didn't sell enough, so I guess that's that. Like, you get a lot of people who will buy the second time because the first time they're just like, well, I don't know if I want this game. Let me watch a bunch of other people play it. That's the times we're in these days. You don't have to play a game to experience it. You just aren't personally going to experience the frustration of trying to beat a Crash level, which is probably how most people were going to play it. However, if the game comes out again, now I get that there's a risk involved in trying to produce another game and then it could potentially flop again. And that the signs were, well, the first one didn't do so well. However, Crash is not brand spanking new. It is one of the most recognizable icons in gaming, and people have been praying for the resurgence and supported it as much. Did it capture the newer gaming generation? Probably not. They don't have the nostalgia, right. But as they see the game do well, that's what generates interest. You have to cultivate the plant. It was in its still beginning stages of blossoming into what could have been a very nice money tree for Activision. They hack it before it really gets its chance to grow, including the studio that made it happen. We already have a strong brand that they were working with. You could have let them do their thing and it could have been really good. So we are mourning the loss because we understand that that's what could have happened, but they didn't give it out. They just didn't give it an honest opportunity. And that's what Activision does. It's not good, but it's what happens. And it doesn't stop because it's like Pokemon, even in spite of everything that they've been doing wrong, gets away with it because people are like, well, it's Call of Duty, you're going to buy it. Well, it's Pokemon, you're going to buy it. Like, says who?
I mean, did you see this? I hope you're watching the sales of Pokemon Snap because people are buying it.
You know what? But guess what? That's the exact same thing. Pokemon Snap hadn't been out since the 64. Okay. And it's even more of a recognizable brand. And I don't think they did wrong by Pokemon Snap.
Right.
By releasing it again. There's nothing wrong with that. We have not the news that the team behind Pokemon Snap has been assimilated into God knows what. It's Nintendo. Like, is it really a bad place to go there?
All right. I mean, in Nintendo's defense, they treat their employees well. So it's not like they have like a division where they're just going to take one studio and put them in another project for no reason. Mind you, they do that, but they don't do it for like no reason. And they still have the creative output to make these good games, which is the reason why the new Pokemon Snap is out right now.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about Pokemon Sword and Shield.
I mean, that still gets money. Like, that's not unfortunate.
Lots of money.
Yeah, that still gets money. That's fine.
But
you
the
can
new
like
Lion
Pokemon
King got
Sword
lots of
Shield.
money. I mean, did that mean it was good? Was it? The general reception of that was ugh. But everybody wanted to go see it anyway. Look up the sales, bro. That movie crushed in the box office.
So the new Lion King, I think, is a very interesting thing to look at because they made a really good movie and remade it into like this 3D realistic visual, right? And people were hoping because of the realism that it would actually be better than the original. So that's people who are in the millions, by the way, all over the world, who were pretty much looking forward to a very good movie. And some people really did like it. You know, I'll let you like the Lion King, and people really loved the new Lion King. And some of the kids who were brought by their parents who also loved the Lion King when they were kids, you know, maybe they... Yeah.
Wait, hold up. Excuse me. Some of the kids that they brought along.
Yes.
Who also liked the Lion King when they were kids. Excuse me, when did the Lion King come out again? The original?
Okay. So let me
kids anymore, buddy.
Let me speak English. The adults who have kids now and were kids back in the day and loved the Lion King.
What he said, he was saying that the adults that brought kids along to a movie that the adults loved when the adults were kids. That's what he was saying.
That's what he meant to say.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
With that sentence, you just misunderstood what he said.
Maybe I did. I just wanted to understand. So if I misunderstood,
that's what I was trying to say. Adults who were once kids,
okay,
who loved the Lion King in the past. Now they are adults and they have kids themselves. They want to bring their kids to watch something that they experienced in the past, and hopefully their kids will love that. And they did. You know, like, to give credit to this new Lion King that apparently people hate, not saying that I liked it, people loved it in some form or fashion.
And I loved Charlie's Angels too. It doesn't necessarily mean that it was a great film. In fact, we all love Space Jam. I don't even feel like that was a good film. I don't need nostalgia to think that this sequel is even going to be any better than the original. Is that sometimes you got to think, all right, well, if it works, it works. So companies are going to provide the thing that works, the thing that sells, regardless of if it's good or not. And the thing is that gives them a margin to under deliver. That's my idea here. Now, well, I don't think the Lion King was an under deliver. I think that should be stated that just because something did really well doesn't mean it's good. Just because something didn't do so well doesn't mean that it's not good. And my example of that is Scott Pilgrim.
Basically, movies are art and art is subjective. To a degree.
But when we talk about The Room, we consider it a art of disaster.
The highest form of art, man. The highest form of art.
Yeah, denial. that's the highest form.
But like that is a very interesting topic that I would like to discuss, not on this stream, but like, when something is so bad, it just garners everyone's attention. It's just like, is bad media that is popular good?
Depends. If it's so bad that it's good, then we're laughing at it, not with it.
So,
but yet everyone is enjoying it. Like it's popular, it's selling, everyone's happy, everyone's winning, but it's like bad / low quality, and it's like, is it inherently a bad thing?
I don't know. I feel like I'm biased. I feel like the Fast and the Furious films aren't bad, but they're starting to get
it's
like well beyond the
no. I'll give now media like that. I'll give it a pass because you know exactly what you're signing up for. I guess that's what the logic for Sharknado was. Yeah, you know exactly what you're going to see. But ridiculous. You go to see Fast and Furious because you want to see fast cars, hot women in action. There's no other reason to watch Fast and Furious. Oh god, it kind of makes me think of Transformers and Michael Bay. You go because you know there's going to be explosions, but you're going to see it anyway. Or like Doom. Like people go like, oh my god, Doom is, you just killing. I was like, yes, that's the entire plot of Doom. Like it's been the plot since Doom 1. It's not. I'm not gonna get on Doom or playing like Doom because that's how Doom is supposed to play. However, we're talking about Call of Duty, which is Call of Duty. The question becomes, should a more risky, creative, and really, in my opinion, successful project be assimilated into another game, which is just churning them out? Like, the idea here is like, what is the real motive? Well, you have to keep in mind why a majority of people buy Call of Duty. Like, you have to understand, like, a majority of people buy Call of Duty to keep up with the PvP. Yes. Yeah. It's similar to, or if not exactly the same as people keeping up with all the Maddens and the MLB shows and right. It's the same thing with the sports games. Like, they're mainly purchased to keep up with current, because you're not going to use the roster from 2 years ago. It doesn't make any sense.
They're gonna. Every time they come out with a new Call of Duty, it was like new and innovative, and you're like, but that was in the last game, and then the last game.
They try to play it up to be something it's not. However, that being said, why do we have to send a completely different team for a completely different purpose and what they're trying to create? Be like, I don't get it. Superimposed into something where you could probably get a monkey at this point to do the job. Like, I think my overarching thing that I'm trying to consolidate into one idea here is that you shouldn't see somebody lose their ability to put time and effort into something that isn't Call of Duty, or in any case, like anything that like you can just already get a bunch of people to do. Like, what are they really going to do that's going to change the general landscape of the Call of Duty sales? What are they going to innovate?
They're going to be able to make the games faster, pretty much.
Sure. There's just more manpower, so salt mines. So
there's no innovation.
Hello.
There's no innovation.
So when does it get to the point where when Activision is just Call of Duty? like where they just renamed themselves to Duty. You know, like
What
what's
are you
the point?
What are you talking about, Anima? Activision is already Duty.
Exactly.
They already are shit.
But like, my question then is like, why can't we also have the other thing?
Good question.
Just because the sales aren't there, and then it's like, is it the fault of the devs or is it the fault of the consumers? You get what I'm trying to say here?
They
Like,
will.
is it because of the nostalgia goggles
They
that
will.
one thing thrives and one thing with nostalgia goggles can still fail? I don't get the like overall, like I don't get it.
It's like a combination, but like ultimately it would be blamed on the consumers because kids kids in all different ages and adults love Call of Duty. That's a fact.
Kids, yo, first
Kids
of all,
and adults.
don't even get me started on the fact that
Like,
kids.
I
Yeah,
mean,
he's actually not wrong about that. Kids do love that game, whether they should be playing that shit or not.
That's
right.
what I.
Like they love that and they love what's the other game? Grand Theft Auto. And that's a fact.
Another questionable.
I know, but it's a fact. And some of these kids will know what a Crash Bandicoot is, but won't have interest in it because it's not Call of Duty, it's not Grand Theft Auto.
So it's dated because it's like
Yeah,
it's not. It's just not what's hip.
it's not what's now, you know. And
Yeah.
Call of Duty turns out a game every year, so it's always up to date. To like, a new one's coming out this year, a new one's coming out this year, a new one's coming out this year, and people will always know, including the children, right? And they will continue to play those games. Crash Bandicoot was on hiatus for how many years?
Yeah, so it needed some time to get back into it. I mean, and I don't think it dropped every single year because we're talking about the mid '90s here into like the early 2000s. But
Like, Crash Bandicoot hasn't been around since what was like the last game on like maybe it was.
look, before we go into that, like the idea is that the rights to the IP have been tossed around a little bit. You know, Naughty Dog dropped them, and they got picked up by some pretty questionable, development teams and publishers. So he has been around. He just hasn't been himself for a long time. He was surviving in Skylanders. Well, no, that was Spyro. So he wasn't even
No. You're
surviving in
right. You're right.
Skylanders.
Because Crashes and Skylanders.
Okay, well then he's been around, and Skylanders had its own boom. So kids being unaware of Crash is a complete and total non-starter. Kids know who Crash are if they've seen anything to do with Skylanders. They know
Like,
Spyro is too.
It wasn't until Crash and Spyro got their remakes, especially Crash, and people. When I say people, I mean older fans, not the kids, but older fans were just like, "Yo, where's Crash at?" And they came out with like the remasters, and that was a good move on their part. They made money. They came out with CTR, which it's a really good racing game, by the way, and Crash was making a comeback. So I think in their heads, they're like, okay, finally we can make a Crash Bandicoot 4. And they got Toys for Bob to do it.
Who's they? Is Activision had it this whole time?
Activision. Yeah, it was Activision.
Oh, Jesus.
So Activision was the remasters, Activision was CTR, and Activision is Crash 4.
So after multiple successful multiple successful projects, we finally drop a Crash 4 and it doesn't do as well as they hoped. So you're like, oh, never mind.
Pretty much.
Is that what I'm getting out of this?
Pretty much.
I can't like potentially express. I have to organize my thoughts to express my words for that line of thinking. What's wrong with it, and all the factors that go into what's wrong with it, and why it exists.
I could say, like, to be fair, they did several different projects on Crash and Spyro, which involved remastering their old games, right? And then when they said, okay, they have enough popularity, it should pop off and become like a new thing for us. And Crash 4 just didn't pop off as well as they hoped. And, I mean, that's just the truth. And as much as we want him, as much as we would love to have like something for Crash 4, they said that they're coming out with DLC. They said that they're still going to continue some sort of development for Crash 4. I don't know what that pertains, but they said they're not going to let it go. It's not going to disappear or anything. It's just that Toys for Bob's new priority is going to be Call of Duty.
Yikes.
So as far as everything, as far as this is going, all I can really say is that Activision, it's still a shit company.
I just can't figure out like what makes that the reality. Like why the unanimous
Like,
oh my god or gasp when we know that Toys for Bob is gonna basically slowly die from the inside. It's been poisoned.
You're a businessman, right? Like, I would say you're a businessman at heart. When Call of Duty brings you $1.6 billion and Crash only gets you maybe like $46 million, well, I think it did better than that. But like, if Call of Duty did billions where Crash only did millions, which one are you going to prioritize?
I don't know, man. You strikes me as an odd question because College Humor just brought up this really interesting idea that Oreos should stop making new Oreos because they've already won, and it's just kind of like you're working too hard. And I'm just like, as a business person, it makes you wonder if you're just bored at that point from all the success. Like, I don't know, man. If you have the money and resources, you can spend some of it on cultivating something else, right? Yeah. Like, you have the room to do so. You're not going to die as a company or as a publisher if you continue to try to nurture the thing. Yeah, it's not making as much money, but like, who up top, again, we've had this conversation, was like, you know what? That just didn't do it for me. It's not making Call of Duty money. Of course it's not making Call of Duty money. Where have you been? That doesn't add up to we should not do it anymore. It's like you can't compare the two.
I did say that.
Can't.
I did say that they're not going to let it disappear, right? I did say that, right?
But it's just like they're not going to be making another Crash from what we can tell. We already know how Activision works. Like, we know the pattern here. The idea here is that even if it didn't make as much money as they had hoped, where was the L?
There wasn't an L per se. Nothing was like really lost. They made money on both, but Call of Duty still made more money.
And so they're just like, well, these guys are just gonna go over here.
There was no L. Like, even even though Last Order says that it's on the investor side, they lost no money.
It's the investors.
Like, the investors lost zero money. They just didn't get enough money.
You know what? And I'm sorry, I didn't realize that he was basically putting out the most valid points. He said Space Jam was a movie masterpiece. It is the money. It's absolutely agreed. It's corporate and investor greed, and the L is on the investor side. However, I personally just feel like there should be some integrity in that. If you're really that, like, if you're in that kind of a system of business, then you shouldn't be toying around with things as such, or you shouldn't even, like, them owning the rights to it is a detriment because they're the ones who can do this kind of stuff and not lose sleep over it if it doesn't work, but still will decide to do so anyway.
Well, I'm going to say one thing. No money gained is money lost from a business standpoint. That's the only sentence I'm going to say. Because when you say when you say where was the L is, well, the time and money that went towards this, making this much money, could have made us more money over here. So let's put these assets and resources here.
There you go.
Which makes perfect sense, right?
There you go, yeah.
But it's all business mind. It's never from consumer standpoint.
True, and I get that. However, whose bright idea then was it in the first place to even bother?
Who knows?
That the Crash game would have made more than it did.
I guess. I think that like somewhere along the lines there was somebody who was just like, "Yo, Crash." Like if the talks started way back with the um what am I trying to say? Remasters of the original Crash games. Where was the business interest in revitalizing the franchise?
Probably, probably from what happened to Spyro, and that might have been an experiment because there we go. He said market research. Basically, they realized that people were saying, you know what, we really want this, and the project, and they make the experiment. Say, let's see how this does, and based on how that does, is how they make the decision after what happens.
Yeah,
If it
like,
does better than their expectations, then they continue on with it. But if it does less than their expectations, or something's doing way better than it, then they allocate their resources to the thing that's doing way better.
And that makes sense what Last Order said too. He just said, as a public company, Activision Blizzard is beholden to its investors, and investors don't care about innovation. And that I'm aware of as well. But like that last sentence of market research is really the key.
keep in mind that when it comes to market research, there's no bias. So you will see maybe on YouTube a bunch of YouTubers and people who are just like talking about Crash Bandicoot and Spyro because they want to know what happened to the game, and it becomes a popular topic and amongst the people. Market researchers can take a look at that and say, "Hey, why don't we remake the game and see how much profit we can make from this?"
Right.
And when Crash came out with its remake, people were asking, then when's Spyro coming out? And then they had Spyro come out with a remake. And it came out with success in their own stance. Like Crash and Spyro, I say, came out with a moniker of success in terms of monetary value. And at least that's my opinion. But then again, I have a bias because I like those games. Investors, market researchers do not have a bias.
Right.
And when they said, okay, I think it's time for CTR to make a resurgence, they also, in which in their I think in their opinion, they said it came out with a success. They wanted more success to come out of that, which is the reason why they have the in-game store and the in-game shop,
I get it.
which was not in the old CTR, but is in the new CTR because they want to see how much profit they can make from it. And people did complain about that. And at the end of the day, I think they slowed down on that because of just how much negativity was coming from it.
Right.
So they switched gears to the next game, which was Crash Bandicoot 4.
Okay. Well, hear me out. I just had this to say. I didn't realize Activision had the rights the whole time. They were the ones behind Skylanders or what?
Yes.
Okay. So I wasn't really paying attention to who actually owned the rights of or what publisher had the rights to them. It would make sense that they did all this, that they had the rights. However, I didn't realize that the reason that they were going into it was because of that, which makes sense, but I didn't know. And the development team, who's probably very aware of all this stuff, having an opportunity to do so is probably why they went out and they did their best to make sure that they could really capture that old spirit of the game so that they could potentially give it a chance to grow further.
Yeah.
It's a shame that for whatever reason, then at some point in time, the consumership wasn't there. Because it's the same as like saying, oh, I can't wait for this thing to come out and then not buying it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
That's basically what happened. It's people not showing up.
True enough.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, I'm just commenting. But just to let you guys know, I will have to bounce at 1. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, we're coming to the end anyway.
Okay.
We're coming to the end.
Yeah, no,
anyway.
we're coming in for a landing. I'm sorry, I was heated because I was just like, why? I need answers.
No, I'm all for it. That's what the podcast is about.
And it's kind of funny because I felt like Anima might, and he probably does see it, but I thought Anima, being the business mind person as he is, would probably see the reason why they did this in terms of like Activision and monetary value, and exactly like, hey, this is not giving us enough money, let's shift gears to this.
I get that part of it, but then it's just like, where did they get off even starting with it in the first place then? Because I wasn't really paying attention that much to why they had begun.
Yeah. To be
and like where that was coming from.
To be honest, I think it started when Crash was in Skylanders and everybody was questioning that and like why he just doesn't show up in his own platformer games, and that
they were just capitalizing on the general resurgence of interest of a character or IP.
Pretty much. But
I get it.
Unfortunately, we're gonna have to wrap this up. Guys, thank you very much for joining in the podcast. I am soulfully thankful. If you guys want to check us out, we are here on the Apartment 814 podcast here on Twitch. We're also on SoundCloud by itself and Spotify, which just to tell, there's not a lot of videos on there, but we are working on that. I am working on that, and this VOD will also be on YouTube, while also being on my channel, which I have to transfer over to the YouTube channel, which is taking a lot of time because it's killing my computer. But with that being said, where can they find you, Anima?
Twitch, YouTube, and Anima, the Anima. Not necessarily in that order.
Not necessarily in that order. You can catch up
not
every now and then. Is there a next time you're going to be streaming?
Yeah, I actually came back on Friday. I did a stream Thursday. They were both pretty successful streams. So today would have been it, but now, or this morning, I learned that I'm going into work. I don't know when I'm getting back, so maybe tonight, but if not, for sure Tuesday. And if not Tuesday for whatever reason, for sure Thursday.
And Skepta?
Yep, Skepta. There we go.
Where can we find you? Right. And not on strike this year.
Not on strike. You catch me on the podcast. You know, most consistent thing ever. I like to chill over here by the window. It's my little corner in the apartment.
Fixed cams. Anyway,
it's my little corner in the apartment. As long as you we keep that 6 foot radius, we Gucci. Or you get a shot. One of the two. Get that vaccine.
Yep.
Promote the vaccine.
Get your shots.
But no, everything will get back to the vaccine. Don't show up for that.
That's a whole other subject, especially over here in Philadelphia. But I'll be lurking on Sync and Anima's streams. We're lurking extra hard, so you'll probably see me in the comment section there. And I'm also on Newgrounds. Y'all remember Newgrounds, right? Newgrounds. They're still around.
Where can they find you?
I don't exist.
All right. Well, I know where you're going to exist.
They'll find him with Mayhem.
Look up Friday Night Funkin'. There you go.
I know.
There you go.
I like to get that game, but I need a better computer. So.
Yeah, Skeptic put him on.
Bro, it's literally just a few megabytes.
He wasn't on himself. Bro,
it's a few megabytes. You could play that game, I swear.
Yet, I reset this laptop to make sure my headphones worked. So yeah.
Oh, jeez, man.
I thought about it.
Don't.
Summarization.
Don't.
Real quick.
Not now. No.
No. It's my closing argument. Son of Zeus gets finessed into mythological genocide.
Oh, I did ask that, didn't I?
For God of War. That works. That works.
And I had to say mythological because freaking Thor and Odin about to get that work too.
I don't know. They asking for it. He didn't ask for any of that.
And you can find myself, Sync Weaver, here on the Apartment 18 podcast. Also, the streaming on Twitch and YouTube. Right now, I'm not streaming so much on Twitch, own personal reason, but quite a bit on YouTube. If you want to catch me on that and on my channel. So, thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate. Put your shoes back on. Make sure you take some of the sanitizer that we left in the basket on your way out. And we hope you have yourself a good day.
Get out.
Get out of our apartment. Get out now.
Get out.
Get out. All right, bye guys.
Oh.